When you've got a whole mess of finished models to move, and you've waited the last minute to do it, you need good solutions. This isn't one of them. But it does get you some odd looks. I'll show you the way that worked out for me. I went ahead and I bought a new house a couple months ago. Of course, I didn't give much thought to moving because I am what they call eternally optimistic. I remember thinking, hey, how hard could it be to move 20 or so models? I've got tons of time. So yeah, I might have had 8 weeks, 3 days, and 7 hours, but I wasted all of that time packing and moving unimportant things like bed linens, books, and glasses. And yeah, it turned out that I had way more built models than I thought. So here's what I have to do. Move 54 built model kits, and I gotta move them in one evening using only my decades-old Nissan POS. And no, I don't want to spend the next few months rebuilding them, so they gotta survive the move. Will it be a success? The start of hilarity? Yeah, well, hopefully both. Now, I did a quick poll of the model buddies, and I did a search on the interwebs, and well, you know, ask 10 modelers a question, you'll end up with at least 17 suggestions, and some of them were excellent, involving carving lattice work in styrofoam sheets, and maybe some cardboard slots for wings, and standing the planes up on end in thick cardboard moving boxes. I even saw a couple videos showing pick and pack foam that conformed to the model. Then that was packed inside a wood box, which was then Russian dolled inside 2 more shipping boxes, and I'm sure those models would have survived a 1 megaton near miss, but I didn't have time for that. Nope. I went for the cheapest, fastest, and lowest tech solution possible. Crumpled paper in plastic bins. After giving my wrists a half-decent workout, I lined the bottom of each bin with 1 level of paper balls. These were packed snug, but not tight, and I was trying for something gentle to rest the planes on, but really it's about not letting the planes move around inside the bins. And once that was done, I started placing models. As you can see, I left a generous space around each one. Most of the plane structure is spread out over several paper balls, and I took advantage of divots to place landing gear and other hangy bits. It's almost like each of the models is sitting on its own misshaped spring. Now, I wouldn't toss the bin off the balcony, but using my unscientific test of walking up the stairs, things were looking promising. And as you can imagine, the bigger models take up more room in the bin, but they seem to rest better on the paper balls. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, maybe the landing gear and the big hangy bits are sturdy, but what about radio masts and aerials, antenna, all those delicate bits that stick out of the bottom of some airplanes? Surely paper balls are going to mash those up. Well, my friend, I'm glad you asked, because I was worried about the same thing. Initially, I set all those prickly models aside for the last trip as I pondered how to tackle them, because transporting them upside down would have been courting disaster. So I'll try my best to describe my advanced solution, but it's sort of technical, so try to stay with me. Using my fist, I pushed down on the paper ball that would have touched the prickly belly of the plane, and the other balls supported the wings and cowl and tailplane. I believe the French refer to this method as écrasé. I know, highbrow stuff, but let's see if it works. So here we are, all snug in the POS, ready for the trip. I lined the floor with a moving blanket, but it didn't have any real effect. And on the drive over, I listened for cracks and pings. But instead, it was oddly quiet back there. Yeah, I took it easy around the corners and easy on the brakes, but it seemed like there was no movement at all to those models. The bins helped make unloading fast and easy, and once at the new place, I could grab a bin, fly down the stairs, and place them, find temporary spots for all my pretties, and I was back on the road a few more times. Speaking of the French, I think they call this one armor a la carte. Anyway, so after 3 or so round trips, this is where we ended up. All 54 planes lined up in their new home. Yes, very nice. And eventually they got back into their display cases. So, what's the damage? Did it work or no? Well, I definitely say this was the way to go, especially for one evening. Only 3 models took hits. One 48 scale cannon barrel fell out, but I found it. A 32nd scale Dauntless dive brake snapped off, and one Corsair had a drop tank that dropped off, which was clearly designed to do that. So that's 3 teeny repairs out of over 50 models. A fine record. And I think it proved that low-tech paper balls and plastic bins may be cheap, kind of sad, but the method does work. And I might even use this method to transport my planes to contests. All this despite the fact that this way is way more fun. Thanks for watching the video, everyone. Keep building, keep taking risks, and keep trying new things. You'll love what happens.